Hello kiddos, it's Coach Carrie. It is a beautiful Saturday out here. It is absolutely gorgeous where I am. Husband already cut a tree this morning and I have to move it with a tractor. He's been teaching me. He's very patient and I love him very much for it. And he's working on one of the lawnmowers right now and I went for a walk because I have a hard time sitting still. And I've been looking for a very specific vine that is not quite out yet, but when I do find it, I'm going to do a video on it. But what I did find was something else that I thought that I could teach you. So very excited about this. We have beautiful trees here in North Georgia. And some of the biggest and the strongest trees that we have here are oak trees. And two of the most common trees that we have as far as oak tree goes are white oak and red oaks. Now, it can be really hard sometimes to tell what kind of tree a tree is just by looking at the bark. And especially during the winter time when a lot of the trees don't have their leaves anymore, it can be kind of tricky to tell what kind of tree it is. So when I was little in elementary school, I joined a club. And that club is the reason why I kind of know a lot of the things I do now. Actually, it's the main reason that I know a lot of the things I do now about a lot of the plants and the way that I remember them. I'm 44 and I can tell you that, I know. Most of the things that I learned about everything outside world, I learned because I was in a club. I was in 4-H. And there were three main people that really made a difference. And it was Miss Cornelius, Miss Elizabeth Cornelius, who is now in heaven making a difference, Ian Cowie, and Kenneth Beasley. I will tell you that as a child and in middle school and in high school, I had a fear of public speaking. Not making that up. There's no lightning that's going to come strike down on me. I had a terrible stutter. And I was made fun of a lot. I was picked on, I was bullied, and it's kind of sad that even the people that are closest to you would be like, oh, here comes Stutterbug Carrie. And when you have to read in like English class or in history class and you have like paragraph by paragraph, and it would come to my turn, I would go through those words in my head and I was absolutely terrified to read. So that's when a lot of my personality started to come out, is that I would kind of have little accents or make some words longer than others because of my stutter. I had to find another way to do it. And through 4-H and the things that I learned through something called DPA and speaking in public, that club and being a part of that club and those people absolutely changed my life. So two things with this little clip today is that if you have a chance, when you have children, to get them involved in some sort of activity, please find a way to do it. And it was really hard for my family. There are 4 girls. At the time, my father was a pilot, so he was gone a lot. And my mom trying to get, kids here and there, it was not easy, but it was a godsend. It was obviously where I was supposed to be. But I can remember going to 4-H camp young and saying this is what I'm going to do one day. And I wound up being one of the first people in Lumpkin County to actually be a counselor. And I got to work at Rock Eagle. And it was fantastic. But back to the leaves. Here we go. If you would like to be able to identify a white oak from a red oak, there was a neat little way that they taught us to remember that in 4-H camp when I was down at Camp Wausiga. This leaf, see how it has like the curved, and then this leaf, I found these on the ground. I did not pick them off. I drive a Subaru. And then this one, see how it's got like the points? They taught us there, and please, if I insult somebody, I'm sorry, but this is just an easy way to remember it, that the American Indians, they used bows and arrows. So that would be like an arrow, and they were sometimes called the red man. So this would be a red oak because it has points like a bow and arrow. and that this leaf had curves like a bullet, and that was what, when the white men came over, they used as weapons. And so this would be a white oak. So we have a white oak leaf and a red oak leaf. Also, I found the other day, oh my goodness, there's some poison ivy right there. There's a lot of poison ivy out right now. Everybody, please be careful out there. There's some neat apps that you can get now when it comes to identifying things. The one thing that's kind of been really great about this quarantine is that a lot of people are getting outside. You're starting to walk around. Please make sure you stay on your property. But there are a lot of neat things. Spring is my favorite time of year because everything is starting to come alive. There's some beautiful things out there. There are some neat apps now. Some are, of course, like free for 7 days, and then they want you to pay. I haven't quite figured out which one is working best yet. There are so many different types of maple trees out there that I'm starting to learn about. There's one that has a bark in it that's called an ambrosia maple, and the wood on the inside of it has these beautiful designs, and it's because of a beetle, and I'm starting to learn about that. That's kind of cool too. But I'm going to end this real quick. I wanted you to learn how you can identify the different leaves. And if you are a parent of a child, I'm not saying that they have to go into 4-H, but that club made a huge difference to me, and I stayed in it all through elementary school, middle, high school, and then after the fact. And I have friends that I made in that. I have a friend, if he's watching, Ben, in Arizona, that I will have for the rest of my life because of this club. And it is that sense of belonging. You know, when you get into college and stuff and have to take all those classes about how important that is, that we as humans have to have that sense of belonging. There was another moment that I had in 4-H with Miss Cornelius, who I loved more than I will ever be able to explain or express. To me, there are people on this planet that walk around and they are angels in human form, and that is the only way I know how to explain who Miss Cornelius was, because that is her. And if she has something to give, she gave it. And in 4-H, we had a pledge that we gave. So in honor of her, I still remember the pledge, and when I took it, it meant something, and I have tried every day to uphold that. So, Miss Cornelius, you are not forgotten. I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. So y'all be safe out there. Please be careful. Look out for that poison ivy. But now you know how to tell the difference between red oak and a white oak. I love you guys. Give yourself a hug. Bye.